What's up, guys? It's me, my Sean, back. What I want to talk about today, teased, growing up. So I don't know what it is. A lot of people, they feel like when they meet me, I don't know. It's weird. Like people just think that, like automatically, just assume like I'm like sophisticated, like stuck up. Like I get that a lot. And then it's like once you really get to like talk to me, you really get to know me. You really learn and know that like I'm nothing like that. Like I'm completely opposite. Like I'm not judgmental. I'm really like honestly like really down to earth. And like people like even like people from like the south side or like people from like the hood or different things like that, they talk to me and they think that I don't understand. I'm like, bro, like I grew up over there with my family. Like, come on now. Like I know that I look a certain way, but you can't always judge a book by its cover. You know what I mean? So what I wanted to talk about is actually like being teased when I was growing up. I know I hear like a lot of people, most definitely like a lot of boxers, they always say, you know, like growing up, like they were teased a lot and different things like that. But I never like really heard anybody like actually come out and say their story of like how they were teased and how they overcame it. So I was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and put this video out there because I really think that it may help somebody that's very similar like me, or, you know, just have like a similar situation. Like you grew up and you were, you know what I mean, bullied or teased and, you know, different things like that. So I'm all about like helping people. So I really wanted to put this video out. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump into it. It was really rough for me. What made it better is like, I'm not gonna lie, my mom, my dad, they're really supportive. Most definitely my mom. When anything bothered me, it bothered her. And I can actually like talk to her and my mom will always bring up my spirit. And my dad, I say that my dad helped me get through it because my dad taught me strength. And my dad, a lot of people don't know when I was growing up, I wasn't really like outspoken and everything like I am now. I feel like that I grew to be like that, but growing up, I was not like that. I was actually very like quiet and very to myself. My dad always told me like you have to have strength and you have to really you can't let people just treat you any type of way, because you give them the inch, they gonna go the full mile. And I know like people say that saying all the time, but my dad always told me like, Ma, you got to start having a voice, because actually back then I really did it. And I know that's probably going to be surprising because everybody always think that, oh, she's outspoken. Yeah, but I wasn't always like that. If people like did certain things to me, I wouldn't say it. If certain things bothered me, I would just kind of brush it off. And I was quiet. I didn't really speak up. People were always bullying me. Like I'll never forget this one light-skinned girl. I was just at the mall chilling with my friends and she just came up to me, just start pushing me, bro, like for no apparent reason. And did I defend myself? No, I didn't. My other friend, she defended herself and she ended up getting beat up, and I was just like, oh my God, like I didn't know what to do. And then I told my dad, and then he was like, you know what I mean, I know that like you try not to be like that, but like, you know what I mean, being in situations like that and your friend sticking up for you and you're so scared that you didn't stick up for your friend. And I know it's kind of like probably humiliating for me to say this, but hey, I'm gonna keep it 100. That's how it was. I was not confrontational at all. So like I was, and people knew that, and people kind of took advantage of me and took advantage of that. So it was just like different situations that I was put in that forced me to have a voice and that forced me to pull this strength out of me. Different situations, being humiliated, being talked about, always feeling like I never fit in. I always felt like that. Like I don't know what it was. I feel like growing up, like, you know, my brother and I, we always had a lot. Like my dad, he was really flashy. And my mom and my dad, they did whatever they can to provide us. So we always had like everything. We're super spoiled. Before I didn't want to admit it, but yeah, it's real life. We're always super spoiled. So I feel like us, like, you know, always having it all, a lot of kids were very jealous of me. And they felt like, you know, like I was automatically going to be one of those people that always kind of like flash and talk about what they have. But I was never like that, because my dad always told us, he's like, hey, y'all got a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of kids out here and a lot of people, you know, a lot of parents struggling to provide for their family. So I don't want to hear y'all out there, you know what I mean? I don't want to hear you guys out there bragging about what you guys have. You guys see different situations and different kids that don't have it all. I mean, always be grateful. So when my dad told me that, like actually, like no lie, it stuck with me. So even though now, like I have a sports car. I like having nice things. I like nice things, like no lie. But those nice things don't make me who I am. When I come across like people that feel like, you know, to talk to me, they have to brag about what they have or brag about the car and stuff like that. Honestly, I don't understand why people do that. Because I don't care about things like that. I'm not a materialistic person. Like I said, I like having nice things, of course. Remember what my dad tells me, and you can have it one day, the next day you don't have nothing at all. So that's the type of mentality that I have. I don't judge anybody. That's the thing. I don't have one judgmental born on my body, because I went through it all. I seen it all. You know what I mean? When you went through it all, you see it all. If somebody's in a position that they're not in, if somebody is in a different position, they're not in your position, you can relate because you've been there before. You know what I mean? So I don't care about the clothes you wear, you know, what you have, what you don't have. I love you for you. And that's how I look at. That's, you know what I mean? Like I'm just really 100, really genuine. I grew up like that. I was raised like that. That's just how I am. So anyway, back to the story. So being teased. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. There is a point in my life where I was ashamed of who I am. Like I was teased so bad. Teased about my voice. Teased about, like, in the summer, I used to swim a lot, so I used to get real dark underneath here, get real dark. Teased about the color of my skin. I used to have eczema real bad. Teased about eczema. My face, I have makeup on my face, but I had like a lot of bad acne. Teased about that. Even like sometimes I'll have like social anxiety. It was kind of hard for me to talk to people because people would just shred me apart. I say one word, what? Look here, you old dark ass, blah, blah. Like, I mean, like, where I was like, oh my gosh, like everywhere I went, I was like, anybody says hi to me, I would start shaking because my anxiety was like so bad because I was treated so bad. You know what I mean? So anybody out there, I'm pretty sure somebody out there can relate. I was treated so bad to where like I couldn't even talk to people. People talk to me. Like in high school, I would like literally like start shaking and getting anxiety because being bullied and being teased like that, it really messed me up. But with support and me finding that strength that my dad told me to find, I was able to really step into my own and really own who I am and really love and embrace who I am. Embrace my skin color, embrace my voice, embrace that I'm different, embrace everything. But it took time for me to get there. So growing up, about my voice, like, oh, man, shall. I never forget that. It's funny now, but man, shall, my voice. Like, people would just tear me apart, man. And I'll come home sometimes from school so flustered and just so frustrated. I'll just go in my room, shut my door, lock my door, and just play music and lay down and just relax. Music, there is therapy. I used to listen to, like, young, man, 8th grade, Lauryn Hill. Like, you can just, like, just different artists, and I would just sit back and I just relax and I would just wind down because, like, being in my skin, growing up, being teased like that, it was a lot. But I found the strength to get up the next day. People used to talk about, you know what I'm saying, the way I dress and everything. I used to throw on my clothes. You know what I mean? Throw on my clothes, do my hair, do my makeup, get up, go to school the next day. The next day, stronger. All right. Yesterday, y'all tore me apart. This day, I'm gonna come to school with my head held high, ready. Every day. I force myself to get up. I force myself to have strength. I force myself to love myself. I force myself to handle everybody, the bullying, the words, everything. I forced myself to get up the next day and go forward. And when I did that, I just started getting strength, man. I just started really embracing. You know what I mean? And I got to that point to where like I was like, yo, I'm me. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about nothing. I'm getting up. I'm me. You know what I mean? And I got to that point where people would say stuff and I just laugh it off. I'm like, bro, you can say whatever you want to say. That's not going to change me from being who I am. It's not going to change me from being my shell. It's not going to make me change my voice. No, it's not going to make me change anything. And it's so funny because, like, stuff to me, it will bother me. I'm not going to lie. It will bother me. And I'll go home and I'll be like, Mom, like, this person said this person said that. And my mom was just like, man, you got to be you, Mai. Nobody's going to like the way you talk, the way you act. Like, you know what I mean? So I just kind of embraced it. Even people always just talk about me, about like the way I act. I'm not very feminine. I'm gonna be honest. Like, you know how girls be like, you know, when I look like it, I look like I'm trying to be like that because that's not how I am. You know what I mean? People are like, why are you not girly? Like, you know what? I can't force myself to be something that I'm not. So once I realize that, you know what I mean, I can dress real sexy, look real sexy all day. But as far as being very feminine and my mannerisms and stuff like that, that's not me. So after that, I just learned to embrace that. I was like, bro, that's not me. Y'all can say whatever. Y'all can say I walk, I talk. Y'all can say whatever. I'm going to be me. It also seems like when you've been teased and everything and people talk about you all the time, even in workplaces, like, man, like some of the things I heard is just crazy. But it's like, even when people, once you hear the worst of the worst and you've been through the worst of the worst, you get to that point where it just doesn't bother you anymore. Bother you anymore. So like now, like I had told you guys, like that social anxiety and all that other stuff, I don't even have that anymore because I'm at that point where I've always been the type, I'm not gonna lie. If things bother me, after a few hours, I'm over it. After a few hours, I'm over it. I allow myself to think about it and everything, but I'm over it. But it's like everything that I went through, now, it's like, it doesn't bother me. Like, bro, I've been through it all. People said it all. It's like, I'm at that point where you can say whatever, you can do whatever. It does not bother me. It bounces right off of me. And that's because being teased and being bullied and learning that you have to really love and find who you are. Once you learn and you know and you find who you are, nobody can't shake you. Nobody can't do anything. So now after doing the soul searching and praying and really tapping into who God called me out to be, I know this is who God called me out to be. So now nothing, no words, and nobody can shake it. Nobody can say anything, nothing, because I'm being finally being who God wants me to be. Because it's like nobody accepts me for being me. And so nobody accepts you for being you, and people are constantly breaking you down and constantly telling you who you're not and constantly making you feel just horrible of being in your skin. You don't want to be that person. So actually tapping into that and actually embracing it and owning it and just realizing, hey, this is me. It takes a lot for you to do that. It takes a real strong, independent person for you to do that. Sometimes it was exhausting just going up and facing these horrible people that I had to come across. But those horrible people made me really love and embrace who I am and really help me become the person who I am, because now I can talk to my daughter. Now with my daughter, she goes through all types of things at her school, and she's dealing with, the kids are cruel now. And when she's dealing with those kids and she comes home, she has a mom that been there, done that. You know what I mean? I've been there, done that. I'm able to relate and speak to my daughter and be like, yo, it's going to get worse. The older you get, the more things you go through, it's going to get worse, boo-boo. But I'm here. I've been through that. I'm going to walk you through it. We got something for those bullies. We got something for those people that want to call you names. We got something for those people that want to talk about you. We got something for them fake friends that you're going to come across. I've been there, done that. And I tell her, hey, boo, you gotta, man, don't let people shake you. You got to be 100. Most definitely, I told her, you're a black woman. You got to be strong out here. You got to be strong. At the end of the day, you're going to have times where it's just you, yourself, and God. That's it. You're not going to have friends. You're not going to have people around you. You're not going to have all that, boo. The only person you're going to have is yourself. So I'm actually happy that I went through everything that I went through, because I'm able to relate to my daughter. And so now it's like she's going through it, but she has her mom that she can talk to and that she can relate to. You know what I mean? So everything that I went through a lot of horrible times. I went through a lot of stuff. And some people didn't like me just for no reason. You know what I mean? They didn't like me. I've went through a lot, but it has molded me into the woman that I am now, and I wouldn't change nothing that I went through. Nothing that I went through. So even for the young girls out there that feel like you're out of place and that you don't belong and you feel like you're trying to fit in with friends that, you know what I mean, that you want to be like, and you find yourself changing the way you do your hair, changing how you are to fit in, let me tell you something. Don't even do it. Find you. What I did in school that helped me through is that I ended up finding friends that were very similar to me and that understood the way that I am and understood. You know, I had a lot of friends that said, Ma, you're very different, but hey, we're different too. You know what I mean? And I ended up being like the best of friends with tons of beautiful people. And then I never forget when I went to Hamilton, it really changed the way I started to see life, because I started to see people that were full of life and funny and like, you know what I mean? Just like me. And then it made me think like, wow, there's more people in this world. Like I came across a lot of cruel people, but there's a lot of beautiful people. And then when I went to Hamilton, I met so many people. I mean, they're like, Ma, you're funny. Like we love you. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, wow, like it's crazy that it took, you know, other people to see that in me. Like, you know what I mean? Like people, you just look at me, you don't even give me a chance. Like, give me a chance, talk to me. Like if you talk to me, you can see that you can most definitely relate to me. So to all those people that feel like you don't fit in, don't even try. The right friends, the right everything, the right people are gonna come and they're gonna be there for you. Don't put yourself in a box. God didn't make you that way. God made you to stand out because God has a greater calling. Once I started really conversating with God and really learning that how I am is gonna change somebody else, that's when I really start, you know what I mean, loving myself and really walking down that path. I'll never forget a pastor when I was 3 years old. He spoke over me. He was like, hey, God has a calling for your life. It's not gonna be an easy road, and it's not, but just always remember that. So no matter what, I always remember God has a calling on my life. Y'all can tear me apart, and this is a horrible world. And it's like, you know what I mean? I grew up in the 90s where we just love everybody. Everybody wants to have a good time. Everybody wants to love everybody. But as I grew up, times has changed. It's not always like that. I feel like this video is kind of like all over the place, but I didn't meant for it to be all over the place. But anyway, even high schoolers, I mean, like I would never forget, like I used to listen to alternative. Blink 182, Evanescence, Britney Spears, like a lot of rock, like the Beatles, like Haley Jackson, like these are like artists and music that I love hearing. And I'll never forget that I was walking home from the bus stop and I didn't have any headphones at that time. So I'll walk around my phone like that and I'll listen to my music. And I'll never forget this one boy. I don't remember his name, but he was like, it's so funny that it's like you try to fit in. You want to listen to Blink 182 to try to make yourself seem cool. You want to listen to all that stuff and try to learn all the lyrics because you're trying to fit in. Stop trying to fit in. Like, you're a black girl. If you want to listen to black music, like, stop. You don't listen to all that. And when he said that, when I told him, I was like, hey, bro, this is the music I like. If you want me to fit in, that's on you. You need to worry about yourself. And I walked all the way home listening to my music. I didn't care because I'm not pretending to be nothing. Like, it's like you guys, like, I don't know what it is. Like, y'all want to put me in a box. You know what I mean? Like, what the heck? Because I'm black, I got to listen to Mary J. Blige? Like, you know what I mean? Mary J. Blige, she's a great artist. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not even a fan of her music like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that it was like, bro, like, I'm different. Accept that I'm different. Accept that I'm not like you. You know what I mean? Accept that. So anyway, I just wanted to do this video for everybody, just talk about a little bit about me growing up, being teased and different things like that. So I love you guys.